For our new participants, let me share about Society for Data Science, which is also known as S4DS. It is a not-for-profit professional association to create a collaborative platform for bringing together technical experts across industry, academia, government labs, and professional bodies to promote innovation around data science. Recognized as one of its kind initiative, rallying the technical community around an India first agenda. In just a span of 3 years, we could make our presence across country and outside too. And I request you all to visit our website to explore more about our activities. Moving ahead towards today's session on artificial intelligence application in drone cyber security, which is very, very pertinent topic in current scenario. With many of the functionalities of drone being controlled by highly sophisticated computers through wired and wireless network, cybersecurity is playing a vital role in ensuring safety and security of these. There are many incidents being reported about the breach of cybersecurity involving drones, thus bringing to focus existing vulnerabilities and threats. The attackers may be remotely launching the attacks and taking control of drones, eavesdropping on their communication links and crashing them. This is very, very critical. But today we have amongst us Dr. C.R.S. Kumar, who is going to share several case studies illustrating cyber-related incidents involving drones and how AI is playing key role in drone cybersecurity. But before I invite our guest today, let me take the privilege to introduce him to all of you. Dr. Kumar is currently professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Defense Institute of Advanced Technology. He has received his PhD, MTech, MBA, and BE degrees from reputed university. His areas of interest are in cybersecurity, fault-tolerant computing, game theory, virtual reality, augmented reality, and he is fellow of IETE, fellow of Institution of Engineers, senior member of IEEE, Chartered Engineering and Distinguished Speaker IEEE Computer Society, and Lean Six Sigma Green Belt. Dr. Kumar has worked in leading MNCs such as Philips, Infineon, L&T Infotech in senior position and has won several prestigious awards. Last but not to least to mention, he is the principal investigator for the DRDO sponsored project on augmented reality based maintenance trainer for Tejas fighter jet. We are so very glad to have you on our platform, Dr. Kumar. And without delaying further, I want you to take over. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Neha. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to make my presentation on the artificial intelligence for drone cybersecurity. And I also thank you for the nice introduction. I'm glad that so many participants are now online. Like all the participants are able to see our presentation slides now?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
You need to share it once.
Okay, so now I suppose all the participants can see my slides.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And I'm glad that I'm presenting this topic on artificial intelligence in drone cybersecurity. At DIAT, we are doing sponsored project on augmented reality-based maintenance trainer for fighter aircraft. And during that project, we came across using drones for certain applications. And there we got interested further and explored this topic. And we came up with this very exciting topic on applying AI for drone cybersecurity. In DIAT, we offer an MTech program in cybersecurity and MTech program in artificial intelligence. And that is where I think we are building up expertise in both domains of AI and drone cybersecurity. So this presentation was earlier presented for IEEE Region 10 during May 2021, and that was organized by IEEE Malaysia. And further, I updated it recently. I presented for the international conference, ICCST, and recently I've been getting some more materials and updating it. Okay, so you are able to see the second slide now, and this is about the overview. The goal of this presentation is to review the latest developments in AI and how it is impacting the drone cybersecurity. We're going to highlight various issues and challenges, current trends, future directions. Being the cybersecurity month of the year, October is a very important occasion to share this particular information on cybersecurity. And as we expect, there are more and more drones to be around, flying overhead, and we surely will be concerned about the cybersecurity aspects. And this particular seminar is going to be enlightening the audience on this topic, and bringing awareness also is our goal. The presentation consists of introduction, followed by the elaboration on artificial intelligence for cybersecurity, and specifically on the drone point of view. Then we look at various cyber threats that are there in the domain, and analyze them, and also come up with the countermeasures. Then there is a specific application we will be discussing about the use of AI in drone cybersecurity, and followed by the conclusions. Okay, so about the drones, I don't need to elaborate so much, but many of you already are aware of it. And we can see that the drone market is growing, and it is a huge market now. There are so many drones in commercial and as well as the military applications. And it's touching around 20 billion in year 2020. And so as the number of drones increases many folds, and we cannot do away without them, then security, privacy, and safety threats are going to be emerging. And UAVs are, in fact, remote control. So unlike an aircraft where the pilot is on board the aircraft, they are either remotely controlled or autonomously controlled using onboard computers. And the physical elements on board a drone may imply a network of sensors and actuators that will be communicating with the ground control system using the wireless link. Okay, here is an example drone that is a Reaper MQ-9 drone. And this is one of the most sophisticated drones which Indian Air Force is having now. What are the applications of drones? There are so many applications. The list is growing day by day, and it is used for internet access, ambulance and medical services, delivering goods, and cinematography and aerial photography, natural disaster control, specifically in industry like construction, mining, agriculture, and it has many applications in defense like military combat operations, reconnaissance, tracking, and all. So drones, as they grow, and they are going to bring us some concerns regarding privacy and safety. And they carry many sensors like cameras, infrared cameras, and microphones. And one is that with so many drones flying around, it is not easy to determine, okay, who is the operator for the drone and what is the purpose of this particular drone which is flying. And so easily it can be used for many illegal purposes, such as surveillance and tracking. So that is where we come at the point of cybersecurity for drones. So our intention is not just about raising awareness about cybersecurity aspects, also about finding out details about vulnerabilities and what kind of possible attacks can be resulting, such as malicious takeover or crashing. So this can be sometimes life-threatening and catastrophic. So we discuss about a set of solutions that to the currently known vulnerabilities, and identify the risks introduced by integration of drones in global airspace. So when you look at cybersecurity and drone cybersecurity, we see that this particular variation has many specific characteristics. So one can see that if you take apart the wings and the various other like aeronautical artifacts from the drone, it becomes a flying computer. It is also considered as a cyber physical system. And the specific things to drone which make it unique for the domain of drone cybersecurity are that we can have GPS spoofing because it is relying on GPS signals, GPS jamming, Geo Fencing. Right? Current drones may have maps of places where they are not supposed to fly. They're programmed to avoid certain areas like airports and let's say power grids and factories, and that's where geofencing comes into the picture. This is very specific characteristic of the drones. Then moving target defense. This is a very interesting aspect of cybersecurity implementation in drones to evade attacks. We are going to discuss about it in more detail later. Then skyjacking. Drones may be one is that taken over by maliciously by attackers, and also malicious drones, then man-in-the-middle attacks, and malicious software and hardware, which is loaded onto the drone, and there is also growing insider threats, and specifically it is connected to the ground station using wireless links. So this is a concerning, and that's where wireless link jamming and interception may come into picture. So the interest in this particular domain has been raised with many incidents being reported. You might have already read them, some of them in the news, and one was on the UAV video stream hijacking incident, where the attackers are able to tap into the drone video stream. So attackers may be sometimes using off-the-shelf equipment to stream video feeds from the UAVs. So here, when I say UAV or drone, they mean the same. So other aspect is losing control of the drones because of various jamming attacks. And sometimes the drones are so expensive, and the attackers are interested in hijacking them and reusing them. So the many demonstrations have been successfully done to show that these drones are prone for hacking. So let us now look at some recent trends in the cybersecurity to understand where the cybersecurity is heading towards and how it is growing. What are the various topics currently of relevance for us. Like the one aspect is the cryptography and security protocols. Then interest in intrusion detection systems and intrusion prevention systems. Then installing the firewalls and UTMs for ground station as well as the drones, and deep packet inspection is another aspect we can see. Cloud security, sometimes the drones may be deployed through data being shared on the cloud. The cloud security plays a very important role there. Then wireless network security. So drone may be controlled using a Wi-Fi link or a, let's say, the cellular network link or the dedicated RF link. So the aspect of wireless network security is of enormous importance here. Then multi-factor authentication. Then digital forensics, that plays important role when attacks related evidence and information has to be collected and analyzed. Then preventing virus infection of the drones by using various antivirus that is enabled with the AI. And trusted computing and secure software engineering practices to ensure the drones are having a very good safe and secure software. So in fact, global cybersecurity market, you can see that it is growing at a very fast pace. It is $153 billion in 2020. So one of the models we can use for the cyber threats analysis is called as a Strobe Model, which is a very important model in cybersecurity. So the Strobe stands for spoofing, tampering, repudiation, information disclosure, and denial of service, elevation of privilege. So we are going to analyze with respect to this, like supposing if you look at spoofing, it is affecting the property of authentication. Tampering may affect the integrity, and repudiation about non-repudiation. Information disclosure, that is the confidentiality of the information being streamed, and denial of service. So drone being unavailable or may result in crash. Elevation of privilege, that is resulting in hijacking. Okay, let us now look at the specific aspect of applying AI in cybersecurity. As we can see, AI is impacting all the domains and it is growing at a very fast pace, and there is a lot of renewed interest in AI with deep learning becoming very successful. And in fact, I did my PhD in neural networks 20 years ago, and we were not getting very good results at that time. But now the students and the various, let's say, corporations which are using deep learning, they are achieving very good results and even surpassing sometimes the results that can be achieved by humans. And you can see that self-driving cars and then natural language toolkits and many applications are coming in. So AI can be used for creating more accurate and biometric based logging techniques, that is strengthening the authentication process. AI can be used for detecting threats and malicious activities using predictive analytics. Then enhancing learning and analysis through natural language processing. Then AI can be used for securing conditional authentication and access. So even hackers may use AI, so we need to be looking at this aspect. Then machine learning models for various cybersecurity have been tried, like we have experimented with malware classification, botnet detection, and intruder detection. So the domain of AI now has, as you are aware, the machine learning and deep learning. Deep learning has delivered very good results, and we can see that there is a growing interest in this field. Okay, so this slide I have titled based on a recent article by a famous author, that is, there is no AI without data. So the data preparation and data quality are key for the AI and data analytics. So AI is very hungry for data, and we can see that Kaggle and other places where we can get data sets. Okay, so one is that you may also be aware that getting drone-related data is not an easy thing. I could get images and other aspects, but cyber incidents-related data for drones, that is sometimes not easily available. So we need to sort of focus on developing data sets. So this is a very interesting slide, that is AI as a hacker. So AI systems will be used to hack drones, of course. The power of AI may be used by the cybersecurity professional as well as the attacker, and we cannot prevent the attacker from getting their hands on the AI systems. And as AI becomes more intelligent, it may also become a hacker. That is one of the predictions in the very famous research paper recently published. So that is where I think 3 laws of robotics come into picture. And hackers are turning to AI now. They are using it to weaponize malware and attack. And so attack to sort of see whether they can get through the advanced cybersecurity solutions. So AI techniques are unique. That is, they require knowledge and intelligence to adapt. They become smarter and smarter over a period of time, learning through various errors and data. So the hackers may exploit these capabilities of the AI. And so the attacker may collect information while the program is running and use that. So one interesting aspect I observed in success of AI in cybersecurity is about AI-based vulnerability assessment tools. There are many of them already available commercially. And as you know, vulnerability assessment is a very important topic, and that is useful in finding out loopholes and problems, bugs, and then countermeasures can be installed and updates can be done. So for example, SAVE is one tool here, which I've shown. That is a secure AI-based vulnerability assessment tool, which is developed by India Cybersecurity Solutions. And then we have vulnerability assessment commercial drones, like supposing if you apply it, finding multiple users, like supposing this is a finding actually, which is reported. Somebody has tried the vulnerability assessment for easily available commercial drones. This is not for the drones which are military drones or whatever, but the data I'm sharing is about the drones which are easily available off the shelf. And that is, you can see that multiple users can connect to the drone simultaneously. Sometimes it doesn't require authentication at all. And they have also found multiple open services with vulnerabilities which can be exploited. So this is a very interesting aspect which is there. Drone exploit is another tool easily available, and you may be already aware of Metasploit. DroneSploit is specifically for the drones, and it is a dedicated exploit framework which comprises of various drone hacking techniques. So in fact, I've shown this screenshot here, and you can download and try it yourself. And it is available in this PyP, and can be installed using pip install DroneSploit once you have installed the Python. So it is targeting mostly Wi-Fi based commercial off-the-shelf drones. So it is having all the library of old and new attack vectors against variety of drone types, and also about passive and active monitoring. Then, so this is aimed at automating and streamlining the process of attacking, and they're very simple to conduct and visualize the results in real time. So of course, this is having a small list of drones which it can attack, like ER drone, DJI, Mavic, and all, but not the RF based ones. Okay, so other important topic is the GDSN by DroneSec. DroneSec is one of the organizations. They create cybersecurity and threat intelligence solutions, and one can access this online. And they enable innovation by securing the mobility, transport, and delivery through drones. And the GDSN is the Global Drone Security Network. It's an event about cyber UAV security, and one can see the videos. And then about the data vulnerability disclosure for the drones. No, DroneSec Notify is one of the platforms. So it can be useful for counter drone law enforcement agencies and governments. So it is having all the details about various drone incidents, statistics, and reports that can be used for building the data sets. Okay, so when we look at the general top 10 vulnerabilities that is published by OWASP, and you can see that from 2017 to 2021, there is a change of scenario, and the top one is a broken access control. And then we have cryptographic failures and injection and various other ones listed here. Because some of the drones are interfaced through web, and we can see that this vulnerability list is very relevant for drone security. Then we also see that significant content in AI is being used in drones itself. For example, when you look at AI being applied, it is let's say controlling the drone and mapping, planning the routes, and state estimation. So that is where AI and ML algorithms are used, and they are running on top of the drones. Even though drone is a lightweight platform, you can see that it has a sophisticated computing capability with GPUs, and it can use all these deep learning algorithms to carry out various aspects. Okay, so this is where the trends in AI in cybersecurity is shown in this graph. And we can see that on the y-axis, we have low benefits and high benefits. So you can see that the benefits grow as you go along the y-axis. And you can see that the complexity of the system decreases. Drone is a highly complex system with so many sensors and actuators, as well as the computing elements going there. So what we can see is that supposing if you see this area, like this quadrant. And we can see that behavior analysis is one topic we can look at for using AI. Then this particular quadrant, we can see that this has already been explored a lot, and many of the commercial solutions are being pitched in this particular quadrant. That is anti-exploit technology, malware detection, zero-day threats being handled. I'm going to show some examples on this. So we may get into details about UAVs, and what I see is that due to limitations of the time, and we can briefly cover it. That is, UAVs are micro, and then we have mini drones, and which can weigh around 24 kgs. So there are, you can see that it is a very small drone. Then we have the drones in the range of 1,500 kgs, which can be tactical drones and strategic drones. Especially the military drones are very heavy, and they can carry missiles and rockets and all. Also, controlling action of the drones vary according to the degree of autonomy, and they can be fully controlled or fully autonomous. Okay, so here is the control categories I'm showing you. So the remote pilot control, then remote supervised control, and full autonomous control. Okay, so this is the architecture of the drone, and we can see that the computer is a main component here, and so you can see that the control computer is also running the flight controller, and it is having data link interfaces. So there is a data interface that is to the ground station. It may be a handheld controller in a smaller case drones, and it may be a very sophisticated ground control station with many displays and controls there. And there is a scenario where it can also be beyond line of sight. So in that case, the satellites may come into picture, transmitting the signals, that is control signals and data signals, to the drone. Drone has many sensors, and it has also these actuators. So here is a block diagram which shows the details about the internals of the drone. So then the flight controller that is there, which is using the algorithms to balance and as well as navigate. And you can see that many of the drones are quadcopters, and we can see that these various sensors may be useful there. Accelerometer plays very important role there. Because of the miniaturization of various components, it is possible to make a lightweight drone which can be airborne for a long duration. Then we see that the major difference between an aircraft and the drones is that we have ground control station where the pilot is located, and a pilot may be operating the drone remotely, and that is where the wireless link comes into picture. So the data link. So this may be a Wi-Fi link or a RF dedicated link. So it is also depending on the UAV operation range. Then that's where we have line of sight as well as the beyond line of sight. So that is this is the weaker aspect of the drones. That is the data links have been identified by cyber attackers. That can lead to taking control of the drone or crashing them. So they may target the flight controller also and ground communication. Okay, so here is a diagram which shows various possible cyber attacks on the drones. One is that it may be that there may be a predator drone, which may be flying closer to the drone and also sending spoof signals. So the predator drone may send commands and controls and try to take over the drone. Then we have on the drone itself, we may have various malware and being injected. Then with respect to GPS signals, because drones rely for positioning themselves using GPS signals, and GPS signals are not encrypted for civilian drones, and as a result of which jamming is possible. So jamming signals may be sent and spoofing signals may be sent. As a result of it, the drone may be lost, or it may be taking a different path. So adversaries can spoof sensor readings, then disrupt the drone operation, manipulate captured footages. Okay, so various cyber attacks on the drones can be classified. I got the diagram from one of the very important paper in this domain. So attack may target availability, then integrity and confidentiality aspects. So it may be a hijacking attack, as we discussed already, or a communication interruption, data fabrication, data modification, and data interception. So what we can see is that with respect to communication interruption, we have jamming, that is denial of service, and then GPS spoofing attack, which I'm going to discuss in more detail as we go along. Okay, security analysis can result in this security tree being obtained, and this is useful for analysis. So who are the attackers and what kind of attacks they may launch? It may be a passive attack, in which case they are just intercepting the data or doing the traffic analysis, or active attack. So the important ones there are like GPS spoofing, man in the middle, jamming, and malware. So then we look at the various threats, and these threats are related to revelation capabilities, then knowledge capabilities, and disruption capabilities. That is illustrated there, like, okay, so in order to strengthen the drones, we have to deploy many cybersecurity tools and techniques, and that's where the cryptography comes into picture, malware analysis, then firewalls and intrusion detection systems, then strengthening operating system security, hardware security. That is where the like the component sourcing and various things come into picture, network security, and social engineering and internal insider threats need to be handled. Okay, the major cyber attacks on drones are listed here, like the jamming and spoofing of the data, GPS data, jamming and spoofing of UAV transmissions, manipulating the captured footage, injecting falsified sensor data. So that is one aspect. You can see that because drone is carrying many sensors, malicious hardware and software, and attacking the mission assignments. That is the ground control station can itself be hacked by the attackers, and they may inject various mission assignments, malicious mission assignments. So the most important attacks are on the data link, that it can be resulting in unauthorized disclosure of the communication, and GCS control signals jamming, So as a result of it, drone loses its control and denial of service. That is GCS control signal spoofing. So here is an illustration which is shown there. The man in the middle attack is shown illustrated where the direct link is disconnected, and now the malicious link is established from the remote control to the drone through this attacker. So various cyber physical threats are listed here, and the countermeasures also. The mitigation techniques are also shown here. And what we can see is that as we go along, we will be discussing this in detail along with solutions from the AI domain. Anti-drone technology is one important aspect when we speak about drones. We cannot ignore that. With recent drone attacks being increasing, anti-drone technology is growing and it is becoming very, very sophisticated. So one aspect about anti-drone technology is using that it uses radars, lidars, and also the image processing. And so the drones may be detected by scanning of RF signals. So there are two ways to sort of disable the malicious drone. That is, one is hard kill and other is a soft kill. In hard kill, supposing the drone may be destroyed using traditional munitions, and other aspect is using RF to sort of disable it or okay, so this is a diagram which shows the security architecture, and what we can see is that it is layered architecture. And here, the important one we can see is the software-based security services, which has this anti-malware, software isolation, and access authorization, firewall and intrusion detection system, and fabricated sensor reading defenses. So this plays a very important role in case of GPS spoofing signals are being received by the drone, and it has to detect authentic GPS signal from the spoof signals. Hardware-based security services are like hardware accelerated cryptographic services, anti-GPS spoofing mechanisms, which are built into the hardware. Okay, so this is a interesting case study about drone hijacking. And this drone hijacking is demonstrated, and many videos are easily available, and the solutions are also available. As we know, DJI is one of the largest drone manufacturers, and it has a revenue of $3 billion. And these kind of drones you might have already seen being used for aerial photography, and that has been demonstrated to be hacked. Hacking involves very simple steps here. Then we also have hacking of military drone, which is reported, and the complete case study is available. And this takeover employed a very sophisticated kind of techniques. One is the jamming of satellite and ground control signals, then spoofing attack. Okay, so the drone gets the wrong coordinates and gets lost, and drone had been made to land in the attacker's territory. So what we can see is that this is a cyber warfare, and the drone warfare is now translating into the fifth domain of warfare, that is the cyber warfare. Okay, while what we can see is that enemies may launch drones, and that is where the cyber warfare comes into picture, and the first line of defense can be there in that. Okay, here is a GPS spoofing attack on the drones, which is very interesting, and the reported techniques in the literature are available. And the drone, while flying, no, it is continuously getting signals from the satellites, the GPS satellites, and it's getting its coordinates. And this is where the attacker comes into picture. Attacker has fabricated or spoofed the GPS signals, and these stronger signals are received by the drone as authentic signals, and now drones takes this red path, which is a spoof path. Instead of landing in this particular location, drone has been misguided and it has landed somewhere else. So that is also one aspect with respect to drone, which is very specific, is the geo fencing. So geo fencing is in fact mostly programmed into many of the commercially available drones so that they avoid the fenced areas. So geo fencing is that, let's say an airport or an important facility where the drone is not supposed to enter, the drone is signaled, and it is supposed to be taking a action to deviate its path. So that is where the anti-drone system also comes into the picture there. So geofencing is kind of a virtual barrier that demarks the specific area and warns the pilot when they are approaching the boundary. For the drones, the geofence would prevent the drone from flying. In fact, if you look at the popular commercial drones, they have around 20,000 to 30,000 geofencing markers, and these drones will avoid these locations. So recently, what we can see that there is a drone regulation being announced, and there is a map is there which provides information about where the drones can fly and where they are not supposed to. Supposing in this map, you can see that these particular regions where the drones can fly are indicated in light blue, and the rest are in the red zone where the drone is supposed to avoid it. So then we move to the topic of moving target defense. So this is a very sophisticated cybersecurity technique being used by the drones. And what they do is that as they move along, they change their attack surfaces. So they are able to, let's say, change their, let's say, MAC address, or change the specific parameters so that the attacker cannot launch their attack. So supposing things are static, attacker may succeed in getting through the system defenses, and as the attacker becomes successful, they may sort of plant various malware and all, and moving target defense is ensuring that attacker gets a very little time to sort of focus themselves. So here is a diagram also I have put here. So the idea is to shift attack surfaces. So important topic is the zero-day attacks. And especially this is where the AI is coming into picture. The zero-day attack is that the particular vulnerability is because of the complexity of the drone, the particular vulnerability is visible to the attacker. It may be a particular bug in the software, or it may be a design flaw or whatever. And before the system is patched or security configuration is effective to prevent any attack based on that vulnerability, the attacker takes a dive, and attacker goes ahead, and then the vulnerability is exploited. So this is the window. Actually, the vulnerability window is where the particular exploit is released and the attacker is able to get a time to attack the system. And okay, so let's say vendor develops the fix, okay, that drone is now secure against this vulnerability, then attacker has little time now. But till then, it is a 0-day threat which exists. And the one technique we discussed already is the moving target defense, and other is the AI-based cybersecurity system. For example, this particular combination, SkyGrid and Spark Cognition, they've deployed the first AI-powered cybersecurity system. The solution is called Deep Armor, which protects endpoints against the 99.9% of the never before seen threats. This is possible only because of the machine learning capability built into the system. So here we can see that role of AI, and okay, so there are data sets which are required. This question, what's AI without data? And then we see that data sets for the drones attacks need to be built. And I could see in Kaggle some data sets available, and specific data sets are okay. They are to be properly curated and maintained for, let's say, to be used by the machine learning algorithms. So the artificial intelligence may be playing a role in the antivirus to automated threat detection and mitigation. So being a dynamic and promising field, it attracts increasing research interest. So what are the various challenges we can see? Okay, that is, we have to have large representative data set, and then mechanism to obtain very low positive rates. Okay, so that too in the real time, because the threats are coming up as the drone is flying. So also we can see that there is a Algorithmic Accountability Act, and similar act may be promulgated here. And okay, developers in that regard have to consider, okay, increasing the number of expectations and legal requirements. That is about explainability, interpretability, and being free from bias, because machine learning hides many things, as you see. Okay, so we are coming to the end of this particular presentation, and here I am concluding. And what we can see is that cyber attacks are very concerning, and that's where the drones are prone for them being controlled by the computers. And then we can see that many of the commercial drones manufacturers have announced bugs bounty programs. So the spoofing and DOS attacks have been discovered to be very effective against drones. And then we can see that strengthening the wireless link is one aspect to prevent the link jamming and takeover. And we looked at MTB, moving target defense technique. Then we looked at artificial intelligence powered cybersecurity for drones to handle zero-day threats. So the AI cybersecurity suite leverages mostly machine learning technology and combines it with defense in depth to provide multiple layers of protection on the endpoint. And that is, instead of actually using non-signatures, heuristics, or rule-based approaches, this approach seems to be very promising. Okay, so my presentation is now complete, and I'm open for discussions. I thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity once again.
Yep. So thanks, Dr. Kumar. It's a really wonderful and very insightful presentation from you, and you really brought it out. All the points which are kind of very relevant from the drone and security aspect, and more so, you covered everything which is very much required, a point of concern for everyone. Where we are talking of the cybersecurity, how AI plays a role, how machine learning works up, and what are the challenges which we are going to be, because while we talk of almost $40 billion worth of businesses in India itself by 2030, as regards the drones are concerned, and we really have to really work on the cybersecurity aspect. And you have brought in, very relevant point, how it really needs to get on to, and everybody has to work on towards that. So thank you for taking out your time, Dr. Kumar, and really appreciate the kind of information, the use cases, the practical knowledge what you have given to us and the complete Society for Data Science audience who are there. And thanks really, and we'll like to really work in future too.
Yeah. So, Dr. Kumar, this
Yes,
is Professor
please.
Amlan here. Okay. Yeah. So this is.
Gozi
this
sir,
is
you need to go on mute. Gozi
Yeah,
sir, please go on mute, please.
This was a really great lecture, and we need to learn that what are the present scenarios, the threat scenarios in this domain, because this is, I think, a very upcoming domain, and a lot of applications are coming up in terms of defense, in terms of logistics, in terms of disaster management. So my specific question to you, Dr. Kumar, that means we know that one of the important aspect of this attack scenarios is side channel, right? We actually try to modulate the power signals and the clock frequencies, right? But these are normally happens of the system, okay, for the systems which are normally located in a certain distance. So do we have any sort of information or research where the side channel attack, or if you can elaborate some of the side channel scenarios which are already existing in this drone threat scenarios?
Hi, the side channel attacks, as you can aware, that is using information such as power consumption.
Yes.
Then let's say the
frequency,
various other parameters, like supposing heat being emitted by the particular object, or sound. And
why I'm telling Professor Kumar, because it's normally a local, right? Side channel is normally there is a locality issue, but here drones are actually flying in a particular area. So what are the scenarios of probable side channels? Have you seen or explored anything? I will be very delighted to know that.
Yeah. One of the important things we can see is that the part taken by the drone can also be indicative, like whether this drone is a malicious one or a normal drone, because that information can be useful there. Apart from that, there is no, as far as I am concerned, literature available, and I think this is a good thing you have pointed out. We need to.
I am very interested to know, actually. If you can find something, I will contact you later. Okay. Second question, Professor Kumar. That means I have seen some of the reports that hardware Trojans are doing some sort of some sort of catastrophe for the aeroplanes, right? We have seen that that it was found that the aeroplane was being routed in a different path due to some sort of failure of the control systems, and rather it was found. There are stories or reality, I don't know, because these are some of the things which US Defense has reportedly reported. But whether there are any scenarios of this hardware Trojans in the current scenarios of the drone attacks, have you come across any type of?
This is a very important question, actually. See, many times when we are procuring drones, we never know whether this drone is going to transmit information to some other destination, because most of the drones they are originating from various other foreign countries, and most of the components sometimes they are suspected. And that is where I think the supply chain plays very important role there. And other aspect is the intrusion detection system on board the drone that can be continuously monitoring various parameters and carefully sort of analyze the data which is generated and indicate in case there is a hardware Trojan there.
Yeah. So thank you, Professor Kumar. Thank you. Thank you for your answers. Yeah.
Thanks, Professor Kumar, and thanks from the Society for Data Science and everyone. And if there is any question, I think we are just in time, 2030. So we will take it offline with you and share those questions with you. Thanks everyone for attending the webinar, and thanks once again for giving a very insightful on the AI in drones and the cybersecurity aspect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.